Hello, my name is Lakiko Cole. I am a member of Nehemiah Ministries Christian Church, and just a little bit about me. I am a mother. I have two beautiful twins. I have a 15-year-old. But why I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, I would say, is because I am resilient. I've been thinking about that word a lot, and what came to me was, what do you do when everyone has given up on you? As a young child, I was given up by my mother. I was given up by my father. I was put on the side of a freeway by a foster parent. And I will never forget that day as long as I live. She actually called an aunt of mine and told her that she was putting me and my sister out on the side of the 405 freeway. And we had two black garbage bags, and we were standing there waiting for someone to come and pick us up. And from that day forward, I made a decision in my mind that I would never, ever, ever let anybody feel the pain that I was feeling in that moment. That particular moment for myself and my sister, actually, it birthed something in me to make me never want to fail. It made me never want to have to ask anybody for anything. It made me never want anyone to feel the way that I felt. And I remember my aunt coming to pick my sister and I up, and she said, no child, and mind you, we were 12 and 13 at the time, no child should ever feel like this. And we went to court because she wanted to get custody of my sister and I. And the judge told my mother, if you would just take a class for 30 days and stop drinking, you would be able to have your children back. And she never took the class. So that told me that she really did not want me or my sister. And for a very long time, I lived with that, and I held that, and I still hold that my mother, the one person in this world that's supposed to want me, that's supposed to care for me, that's supposed to love me, she didn't want me. And it hurt. It hurt. But I took that and I made it to where I would never feel like that ever again in my life. I was emancipated by the state of California at the age of 16 years old. And in that emancipation, if you don't know what that means by the state, I was able to legally make decisions for myself. I had a bank account, I was working, I was still going to high school, I was a drill team in high school, just making every decision that I could possibly make for myself as a 16-year-old. No 16-year-old should have to do that for themselves. But what can you do when no one wants you? You have to do it. I didn't meet my biological father until I was 28 years old. And the way that I met him, we were driving, my ex-husband and I were driving to California on a church trip. And I said, I remember somebody told me my father lives in Pasadena. So at the time, it was when we had the flip phones, and he picked up the flip phone and he called 411 and he told the operator, I'm looking for someone that lives in Pasadena named Michael Miner. So the operator gave him 3 telephone numbers. Lo and behold, the first number that he called, the guy answered the phone and he was like, hello, sir, my name is Jay, and I am married to this young lady, and her last name is Miner, and her father's name is Michael, and we're trying to find her dad. And the gentleman on the other line was like, well, what is your wife's name? And he said, her name is Lakiko. And he said, there is only one person in the world with that name, and that's my daughter. And he said, wait a minute, what is your name? He said, my name is Michael Vincent Miner. And the people that we were riding with, he said, I found her dad. And the people we were riding with, Mike and Georgia Smith, I will never forget this. They said, well, give us the address, we're going. We derailed from following the rest of the church to LA to find where my dad lived. And we got there, and I met my daddy for the first time. I had met my dad, I met a younger brother, I met my dad's wife, all within probably 15 minutes. I don't know if he just called and told everybody that he found me or what. I don't know, but it was people coming from everywhere. And it was a proud moment for me to finally have a missing piece to me, because I had never seen this man before. I heard about him. I've heard stories about him. I've heard where my nickname come from, because it came from him. He was a motorcycle rider. He was retired Army. He was a train operator for Union Pacific. So he was a pretty well-known individual. I just didn't know him. So we ended up meeting, and we talked and sat there and talked with him for a few hours, and we came back, and I never got to talk to him again though. I found out that I was actually pregnant with my twins, and I called him and I told him that I was pregnant. And his words to me were, "What in the world are y'all doing out in Vegas? Pregnant with twins?" I said, "Well, yeah, that's kind of what married people do. They have kids." And he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to make a point to come out there." By the time my children were born, I found out that my father had passed away. So he never got to meet my babies. And I only have that one time meeting him. So again, I'm back to not having a father. I'm back to not having a mother, because my mother was in, Compton doing her own thing. She, was unfortunately addicted to drugs and alcohol, so where she couldn't be a mother if she wanted to. So here I am with these two wonderful children and my husband. Well, the marriage dissolved. We did not stay together. And here I am now as a single parent of twins. Okay, how am I gonna figure this out? What is us gonna do? My children's godparents, she found me an apartment, and I started working, and I just never looked back. I did every job I could think of. I've worked at McDonald's, I've worked at Pizza Hut, I've been in healthcare, you name it, I've probably done it. There was a time where it was just really rough for my children and I made some really bad decisions. I was just talking to my husband about this a couple days ago. I made a really bad decision, and it landed me in jail. And he said, if I would have been in your life, I would have bailed you out, because I got arrested as I'm getting fingerprinted for a job that I had just got with the state of Nevada, working for the welfare office. And when I went to get my fingerprints done, they realized that I had a warrant and they arrested me. But that's neither here nor there. So I told him I didn't want anyone to bail me out, because people were like, "I'll bail you out." I don't want you to bail me out, because I made the choice that I made. I made the decision that I made. So I had to live with that consequence behind that decision. We do have free will. We are free to do whatever it is we want to do, but we are not free from the consequences of our decisions, good, bad, or indifferent. And so again, I was resilient, because I got out of there and I made a decision in my life. I would never, ever, 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 ever go back to jail. That is not a place where any human being should be. Trust me. So I got a release from jail. My babies were taken from me. They were not taken, but they were living with their dad, but they were taken at the same time. And I've been fighting ever since to get back some sense of normalcy in my life. And I was living for so long under a cloud of what I had done, until God had to show me, how dare you allow people to disrespect me by allowing you to live in a place that I have forgiven you for. I no longer live there, because I live for God. I don't care what it looked like, how it sound. Did I do it? I did do it. Was this my past? It absolutely was. Am I proud of it? Yeah, because it made me who I am today. Because now there's nothing that anyone can say to me that can shake me. There's nothing that anyone can say about me that has not already been said by me about me. So you can't just come and say anything new to me that's gonna make me feel bad, because I kind of been there, done that. Been homeless, been without a car, been without a job, been without all of this stuff. But I'm still here and I'm still standing, because I'm resilient. And that's all I gotta say before I start crying. So in
all of your resilience.
Yes.
And in knowing that you are skillfully made by God. What would be your greatest moment that you would say, I know I made history when I made this choice?
When I made the decision to forgive my mother, when I made the decision to forgive my mom for leaving me, for not being there for me, I had to go and pick my mom up because my aunt called me and said, your mom's in a hospital, whatever. And the only thing that came to my mind was, doesn't matter what she's done. That's your mama. Go get her. And I jumped in the car. I told my husband, and he said, let's go. Without a question, without a thought, without anything, I was able to be her daughter, despite everything that has happened in my 47 years. Not being there, her abuse, everything. I was able to say, I'm going to get my mama. And I got my mama. And I still have my mama. She's in Tennessee right now visiting her family, but I got my mama.